In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating the newly updated Drool HUD, what it can do and how it works. When you get it, first thing you should do is wear both the Drool HUD and the Drool object, which you get in the folder when you unpack it. I get lots of questions, why doesn't it work? I'm wearing the HUD because the Drool link set is what animates you and what you're going to see. Once you've set the Drool how you want it to run, you can detach the HUD and then you can use the gestures to stop and start the Drool. We'll discuss those in a minute. On the HUD, to start the Drool, you press the big power button. Each of these little sections here are mouth poses: closed, relaxed, open, lick and wide. Whichever ones of these are active, it will randomly choose between them and play an animation. The little sub options beneath each button are minor animations that help to add realism, like little jaw movements, little lip movements. Apart from on the closed mouth pose, there's this spit. You'll see that when I press the power button now. That's the spit. If we disable this, it will never spit. While it's on, this is the volume for the spit. If we turn this right up, it'll be louder. Put it down to there, it'll be quieter. That's the mute button if you don't want the sounds to be on at all. If we toggle on the different options here, if we leave it on relaxed, open, closed, it will choose different ones. This is relaxed. If we toggle off relaxed and closed, force it to switch over to open. Let's see what that looks like. There's a random timer between each animation cycle. So when you toggle these options on and off, if it doesn't respond immediately, don't be surprised because the time is random. Sometimes it'll be quick, sometimes it'll be slow. So while we're in open, if we leave tongue toggled on, you'll see that little tongue animations, movements happen. If we turn off tongue, the tongue will sit back into the mouth like that, as it would normally be. In relaxed mode, you've just got slight lip movements and little jaw movements which add to the realism of the face rather than it just being a static pose all the time. See things like this, just make it look a bit more realistic. For certain scenarios, you might want to lick. So if we put it into lick mode, let's turn the sound back on. You'll see that this is similar to open, but the tongue comes out further and it cycles through lick animations. There are all the same animations, but fast, medium and slow versions. So if you want to escalate speed, you could leave it on slow, start out slow and then put medium on and etc. Or you can just leave them all on if you just want it to be random. Having open and lick on means the tongue will just sit back on the lip further as it would be in open mode, and then it will come forward and, you know, lick every now and then. Wide, I'll leave it up to your imagination what you want to use this for. Let's wait for it to trigger and you'll see. There are no tongue animations with the wide mode, just slight lip movements. There we go. Can be useful in certain situations, I'm sure you will agree. And the timer at the bottom here, this little button here, if we switch this on, it will now turn on and off based on this time interval. If we turn this all the way down to, it goes down to 20. Now it will remain on for 20 seconds, then it will switch off for 20 seconds, then it will switch back on again. It's not exactly 20 seconds, it's around 20 seconds and randomized. So if you wanted it to be running for a few minutes, you could put the number up as high as you want. then have it off for a few minutes, whatever. And it will fade out and disappear when it's off, and then it will come back on. This little button next to the timer button controls whether the drill disappears on the lip. Currently, the little eyeball icon is red, so the drill will not remain visible. If you switch that on, during the off period, the drill will remain visible on the lip, but there'll be no dripping. Let's switch this off. This little button here with the cogs is for calibration. If we click this, we go into calibration mode. It will now stick the tongue out onto the lip, and you can adjust the height of the tongue, medium, high, highest, and the depth, how far it comes out. Depending on your shape, it might work, you know, might not. Some extreme shapes it's not going to cater to, but this will enable quite a few shapes. And when you're done with this, you just press done. On the second face of the HUD are the texture options. When you get it, by default, it'll probably be on this. These are slightly tinted blue. The top two are virtually clear. Then below that, they're just a little bit more opaque. Then you've got the same thing with white and pink. But then we move into different colours. If you want something a little bit more colourful, those are your options. Left and right are slightly different bubbles that sit on the lip. If we put it onto this one, you can see there's more bubbles on the bottom lip. And the spit animation is slightly different. The bottom four buttons are, you can guess by looking at the colour, useful for certain scenarios, especially if you're also using it in conjunction with this little tongue option here. Let me put it into open so you can see it a bit better. If at any time you want it to really fast change animations, if you just stop and start, it will just trigger whichever one is there. So like if I wanted it to go straight to closed, I could go stop, start, and it's just going to go straight to closed. But it might interrupt the animations if you do it too fast, so just be aware of that. So if we switch on tongue, this button toggles between tongue hidden, tongue visible. You'll see we've got different options here, 3 different ones, and the bottom 4 buttons are just slightly different variations on the lip texture. You've got shine options. 100% is really shiny, so only use that if you really need to, I guess. 50% is the default. You can change the opacity, make it more transparent if it suits you more. And you can freeze the draw by pressing this little snowflake icon. The little arrows allow you to cycle through the frames. If you want the animations to be playing and you want the draw to not be visible, you can switch it off like that. So if you just want the animations on, there you go. Down here, draw frequency is how often it will drip. Draw speed is how fast the drip will occur. These are not, you know, it's not a wide range, but it's a slight adjustment if you want to change that. I think that is about it. Try to make the video as quick as possible for you. If you've got any questions, you can drop me an IM in World. As I mentioned previously, if you want to detach the HUD, just use gestures to activate the draw and deactivate it. Gestures are included in the folder. All you need to do is activate the gestures you want to use. I'm just going to highlight them all, right click, activate. They're now ready to use. Each of the gestures has got a description of what it actually does in capital letters there, followed by the chat command. So if I wanted to activate the Drool in closed mode, type /Drool closed, begin. There's a gesture for each of the mouth poses, the 5, and there's 3 additional gestures for combinations. This one named random will activate closed, relaxed and open. Random plus lick is closed, relaxed, open plus the lick animation. And open a lick will activate just open a lick. If you want to edit the gestures, just right click and open them, and then you can change the chat command, etc. If you want to make an API script, in the note card, there's a little section down here, tells you the channel to use and the commands. Keep in mind it's owner-only objects because they're only owner-only commands. I think that's about it. If you've got any more questions, drop me an IM in World.